Hello book lovers, and welcome to day 19 of 30, where I am talking about my top 30 all-time favorite books in honor of my 30th birthday. Today we will be talking about The Night Swim by Megan Golden. This book was one of my introductions to the mystery thriller genre, specifically within the adult novels, and I listened to it as an audiobook because it has a podcast element to it, so I highly recommend checking it out that way. Now this book comes with a lot of trigger warnings. In this book we are following kind of two different timelines. Our main character is a podcaster, and I believe she had solved kind of some cold cases and decides to do something a little bit different and cover an active trial. And so she goes to the small town where there is a trial of a young woman accusing a young man of a prominent family of sexually assaulting her. And as she is in this small town, she ends up getting approached by someone who tells her that their sister had drowned in the ocean many years ago and that it was said to be just a tragic event. However, she suspects that she was murdered. And so our character is both looking into this past event as well as following this current trial. Now, both of these cases, unfortunately, are revolving around young women who are technically minors, because I believe both of them were under the age of 18, being sexually assaulted by men. So that is the primary trigger warning within this. This story is really good at showing you the current state of the justice system when it comes to sexual assault cases. We are technically following these two different timelines, and we really get to see how little progress there has been with people's treatment of victims of sexual assault, which is rather sad to read about, that we just haven't made any progress in that. There are scenes within the court where our victim is being questioned in the most disgusting way. When I tell you that there are aspects of the story that made me physically ill, where if I had been in the courtroom, I would have throttled the lawyer that was questioning her, because I just don't understand how you could ever ask a young person or any person that kind of question, let alone doing it in such a public space. It really felt like they were trying to humiliate the victims and really discredit them a lot, and that is unfortunately what happens to victims. They're just not taken seriously. They are just seen almost as these people that are seeking to ruin a young man's life and ruin his potential that he has, and that's just not what they're doing. They have been harmed in the most, what I would say is one of the worst ways a person could be harmed, and they're just seeking justice, but no one sees it that way. Luckily, our main character does see it that way, and watching her as she learns more about the current case as well as looking into this past case of this drowning of this other woman was really interesting, and seeing the parallels and the connections between these stories was, I'm not going to say fun. There's nothing fun about this book, but it was very rewarding to watch her kind of bring to light these dark secrets within this little town, and for a young woman to receive the justice that she deserved. So this is definitely a difficult read. However, I think that if you are someone who can handle sexual assault as being a part of the book, then this is definitely worth checking out. I think the author handled the topic very well. I think it was a very impactful story, and I think that the podcast element added a lot to it. It gave us kind of a fun and unique way to watch our character put all the pieces together until she finally solved the cases. I will say I remember being quite satisfied with the ending of this story, and I definitely need to give it a reread. It is the kind of story that has definitely stuck with me, but I have started to forget aspects of it, and I definitely want to re-experience the story. No matter how difficult it was, I think that the author showed a lot of respect to sexual assault victims within this story. So let me know if you have read The Night Swim and what you thought of it, and I will see you tomorrow with our next book.